Hello, lovies. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here with another edition of A Little Perspective, finally free. And I have three of my co-authors for the book, Finally Free, that comes out January 21st. Super excited to talk to each of them about their own story and what led them to feel compelled to share it in this book anthology. So thanks to all of you for joining me today. All right, so Miss Allison, why don't we start off with you just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Allison G. Daniels. I am the CEO and founder of AGD Publishing Company. I am a 31 best-selling author. No, let me say that. I have written over 31 books, but I am a 3-time best-selling author. I am also a mentor and coach. I have been married now for over 19 years. We have 2 beautiful daughters, 30 years old and 15-year-old, Damona and Christian. And I am a licensed minister. And I am happy to be on this anthology.
Awesome. 31 books. My goodness.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Eric Willoughby. I'm a master facilitator for a Fortune 500 company. My whole goal in my purpose is to develop leaders who will then develop leaders. Basically, I teach the company's core values and throw in some personal style in there because my core values match up perfectly with the company's core values, and just being available for anybody that needs any help and assistance going forward, and really just trying to be that servant leader to show them what good looks like and be able to be there as a resource if they need it in the future. I have not written any books. This is my first chapter, and it's definitely an interesting ride.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Ashley, you are up next. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ashley Robertson, and I am excited for my very first anthology. I am a Red Aspen brand ambassador. My platform for pageantry, when I compete in pageants, is to help bring awareness to mental health. And I also sell Cole Jack's jewelry. So the beauty industry for me is not just beauty, it's to help women feel empowered and to just have fun with the makeup and the jewelry. And I am a wife of 3 years now, and I have 4 children and a public speaker. So I'm really excited for this project, and I'm excited with all the awesome co-authors too. So I can't wait to read everyone's stories.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. So, Miss Allison, 31 books under your belt. My goodness. What made you decide to be a part of this book and to choose this project?
Well, let me say, when I interviewed Dawn on my podcast, Authors Chat with Allison, and she kept saying her title, Finally Free, Finally Free. I was like, wait a minute, I'm free. I want to be on this. So it really caught my attention because I realized that, you know, as we get older, we really realize what's really important in our lives. And me being free was, you know, liberating for me because, you know, I learned how to take back my own life and do things that Allison liked to do. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be on there. Even though this is my 11th anthology, I strategically picked them for a reason. And this one stood out because Finally Free. So I can't say I'll be on another one. I might just let it stop here. But, you know, I am really, really happy about being on this anthology.
Awesome. Awesome. That is so great. All right, Eric. So this is a little bit outside of something of what you typically do. You know, you are always at the events and always participating in those kinds of things, but you are often more of a behind the scenes guy, Eric. So tell me a little bit about what made you decide to jump out there and do this book.
Well, like you said, I've been you see me everywhere with all of these different events, and nothing against you guys, but it's always women, 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 women. There are men out there that need to be heard and have things to say, but society tells us not to say them. So I felt that this would be my time to put out there things that I've been through and how I've overcome them, to be able to say, forget society, this is what needs to be done. And it really will help men's perspective, and it will help men's mental health and things of that nature. And at all of these events, I always see all of you ladies having fun. I want to have some fun too. So why not?
You know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. I cannot argue with you. And I'm so glad that you decided to join. I can't wait to read your chapter. All right, Miss Ashley. Now, you know, I know some of your story. I've heard some of it. So I could probably make some guesses as to why you chose to participate, but I would love for you to tell the audience why you chose to participate. Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, it says unstable. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, I saw it said unstable internet. Sorry. Okay, so I chose to be a part of the project because I want to get my story out and help other women to feel empowered. Like I said earlier, I want to help tie the link between self-esteem and mental health. So if I can just be that advocate, help be a voice of the things that I've been through, I just really want to help other people. And it's like a chain reaction. If you help one person, you can help another, and so on. So this will help me with everything that I'm doing, everything. Also photography. I didn't mention I'm getting back into photography. So I want to do a project of, you know, photography with the makeup and the jewelry, just helping them feel beautiful. You don't need all of that to be beautiful, but I want to help people know that they are worthy. That ties into my chapter, that ties into everything that I'm about. And that's really what I want to do, is help with that.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right, Miss Allison, so what does finally free mean to you? That spoke to you. So what does that mean to you? Why do you feel like this is me?
You know what? Because I had a chance to, what I want to say, you know how sometimes you kind of go back and you look back over your life and you're like, what have I accomplished? Or what were the things that I wanted to do when I was in high school? And so when I wrote my chapter, I centered it around the things that I wanted to accomplish. So when I turned 53 and graduated with my bachelor's degree, that was something that I always wanted to do when I was in high school. I wanted to graduate from college. But when life happened and, you know, you get married, you have children, and you kind of put all of that to the side. But then when finally free came, and I was like, I'm free, I'm free. So I went back to school and, you know, achieved that goal, and then started my publishing company. I never stopped writing. So there were just a lot of things that I just kept checking off that I was going to do just for me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did.
So going back to school as an adult, I did that. I got my bachelor's from Tulane and had 3 kids, and, you know, it's not easy, but it's worth it. But it takes a certain level of, you know, deciding that you can do it and then deciding to do it. So what made you kind of go from, you know, not doing it to doing it?
Wanted to leave a legacy behind for my daughters, And another thing was my oldest one was already in college. So what I wanted to do, I know this sounds crazy, but I wanted to hurry up and get my bachelor's degree. So then she would get her bachelor's and she has hers. Then I'm going for my master's, which means now she has to go for her master's. Then when I go for my PhD, she has to go. So it was something that I wanted to get started so that my daughters or our daughters could see that it can be done, but I at least had to go out and do it myself in order to tell them this can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just leaving that legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Ashley, you are involved in the Mrs. Mississippi pageant?
Yeah, that was the recent one that I competed for in October.
So what made you go from not doing it to doing it? Because that's a lot of work. Some people don't realize how much work being in a pageant is, but B, it also takes a lot of guts to just be like, I'm doing this, I'm putting myself out there, I'm risking, rejection or what have you. What made you make that decision to do that?
Well, what made me make the decision is I wanted to be free of that fear. So when I was able to walk across that stage, even though I was trying to back out all year, I've actually been trying to compete for over 10 years. So when I was younger, I competed in the teen pageants and all of that, and I needed braces, and I was like really low self-esteem, and I said one day and a missus, I'll be married. And even though I was still struggling and still am struggling to try to get my weight down, I just want to show people that you don't have to be super, super skinny. It's a Mrs. pageant. And if you're married, you can take time for yourself. If you have children, you could still do these things. It was a dream of mine, and I was always scared. So when I finally did it in October, it was something like, Allison, I could check off my list and just say I did it. I can look back, and it literally was the first stepping stone to being able to write my chapter. I felt like I couldn't even write. I didn't finish my chapter until after the pageant. That was part of my story, part of my testimony, and I had to complete it. And if I didn't, then my story wouldn't make sense. So like here I am writing about, worthy to be loved and fear and all of that, and then I'm going to back out of a pageant. Like that wouldn't make sense. And like I said, I want to be an example and show that just don't let that fear of rejection, and to know that you're loved. And so that's the title of my book, is Worthy to be Loved, is my chapter.
Awesome. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. All right, Eric. So I love your reason for doing this, for being part of the book. So tell me, because it had to be a little bit nerve-wracking to make that decision, because it can almost feel scandalous to be like, well, yeah, women are great, but men are great too, because I liken things a lot of times to pendulums, and we've kind of swung one way so far and it ends up swinging the other way, and now we have to find some middle ground, right? And so men are great, like women are too, but men are too, like not all men are awful, right? And so, but to say that
absolutely
can be kind of like taken the wrong way sometimes. And so what made you be like, you know what, I am gonna step out and I am gonna do this because it needs to be done?
Well, it came to me as when I was trying to think about what in the world am I going to write in this book? How would my story compete with all these fabulous women and all these interesting stories that are going to help empower people? And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I have 2 boys. One is 9, one will be 5. And my 9-year-old is special needs. He has had seizures since he was 10 months old. And it's not like epilepsy, where it's just one type of seizure triggered by something that they can grow out of. His is actually a syndrome that is due to genetics. And how a man deals with that
Mm-hmm.
is a little different, because we have always been told as men, you got to be strong. You got to bring home the money. You got to be the man of the house. You have to take care of everything. You don't show emotions when anyone is around. But how often does that end in divorce? How often does that end in children not wanting anything to do with their parents? Because, well, I was never loved. They didn't show me the affection. Or I was never, the parent was never proud of their child because they couldn't express that. Well, I took a long, hard look at my life and I realized I love my wife, I love my kids, and I don't want something as stupid as me being quiet to end all of that. And by me doing that, it has definitely helped our family unit get stronger. It has helped us deal with things a little bit differently. And it has really been good for me to have the support system that I had to be for everyone else. And now they are the support system for me as well. So yes, women are great. I have nothing but women in my life except for me and my 2 boys, but the boys matter too. And I wanted to show my kids that, hey, you're a boy, but you can cook, you can clean, you can talk about it when something upsets you, because that's not healthy. And I wanted to make sure that they understand that.
Oh, that's incredible. You are such a great dad. That's awesome. Way to go. Way to go. That gave me goosebumps. I love it.
Thank you.
Eric is such a cut up that, to get kind of serious it's like extra special, because it really, it's genuine. And so that's awesome. I'm proud of you. All right, Miss Allison. So tell us a little bit about your podcast. You mentioned it earlier. Dawn was on it. Tell us, how did you get started with that, and what is it?
So August of last year, God placed on my heart to go ahead and start my publishing company. Even though I knew to start it a few years ago, sometimes we don't always act on it right then and there. But when I started my publishing company, I kept saying, I remember when I wrote all of these books, I didn't have any place to, talk about them too, or, I wasn't connected with the different people to even get on television or bookstores or anything. So I said, when I start this publishing company, I want to start a podcast where authors can come on and talk about their book, their business, or their brand, just so that they would have that open door for others to be able to hear them, see them, and then, ask them to be on their podcast or on their show. So if someone sends me an inquiry, I want this person on my show, I can be that person that can pass that information. Yes, contact so-and-so. So that's how it got started. And it's called Authors Chat with Allison, inspiring and uplifting and bringing on board, inspiring and uplifting authors so that they can share their story, their book, and their brand. That's it. Like, look, when I do the podcast, I have it right in front of me, like da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And it went right out the window.
On the
yes,
spot.
that's why I started it.
Oh, that's excellent. That is awesome. Yeah. I love music documentaries, like documentaries about artists, and I kind of take away a little something from each of them. And I don't know if you know Todrick, but Todrick Hall is a performer. He's what I took from his documentary is, if you can't find a path, then you make a path. And like, he couldn't get a record deal. He couldn't get anybody to make music videos for him. So he just started making them in his garage, and they're really good. Like, they're really good, but he started doing them in his garage. He started hiring people to help him. He put them on YouTube, and he created like a cult following that way. And then it ended up with a record deal, and I'm like, dude, like, you can't find a way to go, then you just do it. You just figure it out. And that's exactly what you did. That's awesome. Yeah. That's excellent. Miss Ashley,
you.
tell us about your future plans for Mrs. Mississippi. I know you've mentioned it, and I don't know if you've made a decision yet, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I just don't want to give up. I want to continue to compete, and um, you know, I felt like when I competed this past year that I was a winner no matter what, because I actually did it. And I learned from that experience. I got to meet some wonderful women who in the future I'm going to plan to bring them on my own podcast, which I haven't started yet, but I actually had inspiration from church this morning on like different interviews that I want to do. And so I do plan on competing, probably not this year. I mean, if I do have a lot, also something that I want to be able
Might be losing you, Ashley.
to. It sounds weird, like you shouldn't have to try to win a beauty pageant to feel beautiful, but it's not necessarily the beauty part of it. It's the not giving up, because that's how I was raised. I was raised in pageants and I had low self-esteem, so that always ties into it. And then when I finally quit, I stopped, it was because I won a really big title. Sorry.
You're fine. You're good.
Okay. It always tells me when it's okay. So, but yeah, I plan on competing again. And then one day I want to have my own pageant. So like I said, I have a lot going on, but I want to have one on the coast so that I could have like Harrison County, Hancock County, but it's going to be different. It's not going to necessarily be who's the skinniest, who's the prettiest. It's going to be more focused on who is, going after their dreams, who's trying to make a positive difference in the world. And it's not just going to be on your outer beauty, it's going to be on your inner beauty. So I'm excited to bring that in the future. And so
I think that would be excellent. You should be able to find sponsors for that, because it's such it's the way that people are finally shifting, right? Like it's not completely physical, because for the most part you can't even fix how you like you can't help how you look. I mean, yeah, you can get plastic surgery, but other than that, like you're kind of just born that way. And it's kind of silly to like reward someone for being born a certain way. It's who you are that really matters. But I definitely see the value in pursuing these titles, for you to be able to, because it's not just about feeling like you're prettier than everybody else. It's about combating it's an internal battle that you're winning. It's not the pageant itself that you're winning. And I definitely agree
right.
that failure is not so much not winning, it's not even trying. And so when you put yourself out there, then you win no matter what. Even if you don't necessarily win a title or an award, you're still winning because you're moving forward, and that's excellent. That's awesome. So, Eric, tell us a little bit about, you're heavily involved in a lot of things. And so how do you envision, or what are your goals with, besides the chapter, but with really being able to connect with other men in these kinds of ways? Because I think it's an excellent mission, and knowing you personally, you can absolutely do it. And I would love to hear kind of maybe some of the ideas or goals that you have in that.
Well, I don't have anything planned immediately.
Okay.
However, I have been thinking about possibly going into coaching, possibly writing my own book.
Possibly.
Yeah, I know. I got a long way to go to keep up with Allison. But, there's a lot of different things that I can offer besides just what I gave in this book. There's a lot to me. I'm not one story.
Absolutely.
I'm one huge story broken into smaller chapters. And I could definitely see how I have kind of honed in my skill to become that master facilitator for my 9 to 5, how I could really take that and impact different individuals in a coaching experience. However, it is not the time for that yet.
And that's fine. I mean, you have to know when the right time is for you and for it in general. But I definitely see so much potential and such a need for that, especially nowadays. Because like I said, we've kind of moved from, men are awesome and women are lesser than, to women are awesome. But now we need to kind of find a balance between the two, because we need that. We need men. Like, just because you're a feminist, like I consider myself feminist, doesn't mean that I don't want a man to take out trash and to hold my door and to, I just want to be recognized as, for my value as well. But it doesn't mean that I think that men aren't worth anything or, anything like that. So I think that a male role model like you could really be something. So I hope that you can continue to work on that. And I know a certain someone will make sure that you are continuing to think about that. So that's excellent. That's excellent.
Oh yeah. I definitely have multiple accountability partners. And I also have multiple people that may have put that idea in my head. So can't really say what the future holds for me, but this will not be the last time that you hear from me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just don't know what platform it will be that you will hear from me again.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, y'all. So, Miss Allison, why don't you tell us how people can connect with you? I'm sure that there are some who have heard you speak and feel like that is someone that I want to get to know a little bit more. So what are the best ways for people to connect with you?
I always give everyone Facebook. My Facebook sign in, or my Facebook name is Allison G. Daniels. So it's Allison.G.Daniels or Allison G. Daniels or AllisonGPublishing.com. So it's really two, Allison G. Daniels, which is Facebook, and then AGDpublishing.com.
And what is the name of your podcast?
Authors
Sorry,
Chat.
not a trick question.
No, that's fine. That's fine, because honestly, this is the first time I had a chance to speak about it. Normally I'm interviewing everyone, so no one really asked me, well, you come on and talk about your podcast. So, but it's Authors Chat with Allison. Okay,
and where can they find that
at? When they go onto my website, agdpublishing.com, it'll take you to the the icon for you to hear the different shows and for you to schedule an appointment if you would like to be on the show.
Excellent. Awesome. Okay. Miss Ashley, what is the best way for people to connect with you, my friend?
They can connect on Facebook. I have a fairly new page.
You're fine.
Oh, okay. A fairly new page set up, and it's the facebook.com/author Ashley Robertson. And then they can email me at robertsonpageantqueen@gmail.com. Those are the two best ways.
Awesome. All right, sir, Eric, for the males that you have touched, I am certain, who want to kind of be in the know for when you do make these future plans, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
The best way would probably be on Facebook, and that's Eric D. Willoughby. And also my email is ewilloughby1@gmail.com.
Excellent. I will put all of that in the comments so that everybody can have easy access to that. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It was lovely. Cannot wait to read y'all's chapters and see what next year holds for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Have a great day, y'all.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You too.
Thank you.